Okay, this will be part 2 of the cable controlled repair job. In the first part, if you didn't see it, I'll put a link to it down below, but showing where you can find the correct vinyl covering for going across the cable control and the electrical wires and all that kind of good stuff. This one I've reassembled the cable back into the car base. You can see the cable end solders back onto here, and whether that pulls or pushes determines, which angle the wheels are sitting at. For example, I'll turn the steering wheel on the remote so you can see that you can change the position of the wheels to some extent. The motor in here has two mechanical functions because you have a gear shift lever that comes out the back here. Now if the gear shift lever is pushed all the way in like that, I'm going to get the camera, hopefully we'll be able to see the pinion gear on the motor here and the swing gear, which is right down here. When I pull on this lever, see how that moves forward or backward? So you make a choice on the car whether you want to drive the car forward or backward, or whether you want to raise and lower the top. When it gets to the end of the travel, it just jams the motor. They're hoping the kid will be smart enough to take their finger off the button where they burn up the motor. And if we pull that out, we should now have the drive, depending on which button I pushed on the remote. Now, putting the body back on, I'm not sure I can do this and keep everything in camera. There are tabs around the base, but there are also 2 screws, and then there's your standard, see these tabs in front of the wheels and behind the wheels and here? Those fold back into the crimp on the bottom of the body. When you're completely sure you've got everything done right, that would be the last thing you want to bend, because that would be the hardest thing to unbend if you got to get back in there. And I believe this Thunderbird, convertible Thunderbird, has the 8-man driving it, as you can see there, which is why Ozzy sent this to me for repair, being rare in that case, and in extremely good condition other than the fact that the vinyl tubing around the remote and then the wires inside that vinyl tubing had all turned solid and cracked and broke, so they had to be replaced. With that, these are the original screws that came with it. Look at their pointy little self-tapping screws. And get those started. Just want to get them snug, because they would probably strip out rather easily. So now we have these tabs like I talked about here. Those are going to help hold the body to this lower frame, and you can generally, if you can get your finger in there to bend them, that's best, but if you can't, then you have to take something like a flat blade screwdriver and bend those puppies up into position so that they crimp the body, help hold everything together in a nice tight manner. And this managed to pop out of its slot. Sorry that I'm not on camera. I can't watch what I'm doing and see the camera at the same time. I'll show you what I was up to here once I get it. There we go. So basically, one of the tabs had popped to the outside and had to get it back onto the inside. You got the 2 screws. So now you got your car. Let's see, if I push that in, that should be the first time having tried this. That obviously is supposed to go like that. So let's try this again. Let's back it down. Okay. And let's run it up. Alright. that horrible sound is when the motor jams at the end. It's just the way it's designed. I think this is supposed to be bent down a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then if you pull that gear shift on the back of the car, you can decide whether you want to go forward or backward. And steer it, I guess. In order to test that part, we're going to have to move down to the floor. Everybody hang on, I'm swinging you around. And that's as steep as I can get this camera to go down. So let's see, which way is which? That's forward, that's backward. Let's try turning the wheels. Oh yeah, let's try turning the wheels the other way. I have a little bit of condition still with the buttons. I had already opened those up and cleaned the contacts as best I can, but since each one of these is a single pole double throw switch, between the two of them you have double pole double throw, you have to have contacts that make in the up position as well as make in the down position. And if either one of the switches isn't working completely, then of course the motor doesn't run. So you have to fumble with them a little bit. And the other thing that can take a little bit of fumbling is the batteries don't fit super snug in there. The spring tension of this wiper here on the bottom is minimal, very minimal. Usually they're a lot stiffer than that. So if you hold this battery box vertically like this, the odds of that battery actually touching that contact is not good. So you almost need to hold this thing kind of facing down. I think they're planning on you holding it facing down anyway, because the car would be on the floor and the cable's going to be aiming towards the car. But that'll give you the best battery contact. Let's try the retractable roof now that we're down on the floor here. Oh yeah. So that works, and these switches are working about as good as they're going to work, I guess. Sometimes you got to fiddle with them a little bit, but it's not bad. So there you have it, cable repair in 2 parts, and I'll let Ozzy showcase the car on his channel if he wants. It's got his mighty 8-man on there, plus on the back. Thunderbird. It even says that on the license plate. Cool.